This is Rabbi Karen, and I thank you for joining us tonight for our Tuesday Maariv service. We are live on Facebook, on Ustream, JSLI, UJUC, Sim Shalom, Rabbi Stephen's page. We are also live on simshalom.com and on YouTube. So again, I'm so glad you could join us. You could type in chat, let me know you're here, say a quick hello, because we are about to begin our Tuesday Maariv service. I hope everybody is well. I hope your weather has been good and as good as your health. And here in Florida, we're beginning our rainy season, so it's going to be wet, and don't be surprised one day when I do services and you hear the thunder boomers, because we get them. All right, so good evening to all that are in my Zoom, and good evening to all those who are following us. Let me hit share the screen as we begin our Maariv service. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. And now our call to praise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to more praises due forever. Praise be Adonai, to praises due now and forever. Well, it appears my technology is going slow tonight. And now, our blessings of separating light from dark and dark from light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvidvuna mishane itim, umachalif et kozmanim, umzader kochavim mishmorotayim barakia kirtzono. Creator of day and night, who rolls light away from darkness and darkness from light. You cause day to pass and bring about night, distinguishing between day and night. Source of all forces is your name. O living and enduring God, reign over us forever and ever. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who brings on twilight. Okay, so we're going to take a moment. And welcome to my Zoom. Ziona, it's so good to see you again. I've been sending messages through other people. I hope you've got them. My prayers for well wishes. Reba, Ellen, and Marvin and Sue. And let's see how we're doing on Restream. Nope, we're still waiting. Nobody on Restream at the moment. Okay, so let's go back to our regular service. Everlasting love you offer your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice on your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. You'll have to forgive me, but it's been an allergy day and I occasionally need the tissue to just take care of business. And now the prayer that says who we are, a prayer that doesn't ask, but a prayer that states the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, le'olam va'ed. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever. Okay, Ziona, I'm glad you're back with us. And that's, just seeing your smiling face just does it all for me. And you shall love. V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shnantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'vleftecha v'aderech v'shok b'hov kamecha. V'shatam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotefo beinenecha uvtaftam al mezuzot beitecha v'shurecha. Leman tisgaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohehem ani Adonai Elohechem asher chaseti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim liyot lechem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. I am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And now as the women, led by Miriam, went through the miracle of the parting of the Red Sea, they sang, Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot, osef eleh. Who is like you, O God, amongst the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried out. Adonai will reign forever and ever. And thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al, Yisrael. Ashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'achamirenu malkeinu l'chayim ufrosh aleinu sukat. Shalom mecha. Adonai, we ask for your healing prayers. We ask for your forgiveness. And we thank you for all that you've given us. Please bless us. Guard over us. Bless this country. Protect it. May it remain a light for all nations. Shield us and remove from your path all hostility, disease, war, famine, and sorrow. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you are our protecting and saving power. Truly a sovereign power, gracious and compassionate are you. Guard our going and our coming in life, and in peace now and for all eternity. Spread us over your shelter of peace. Baruch atah Adonai haporesh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. V'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who spreads your shelter of peace over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei rabba v'yamad yivrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechonu v'yomecho v'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yimaru, amen. Yeheshmei rabo mevorach, me'olam li'om me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yibar, v'yiroman, v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudusha, b'richu, le'elam mekol b'chata v'shirata, Tush b'chata v'nechemata damiram b'yalma v'yimeru. Amen. And now our prayer as we remember our ancestors. And we hope that the promises made to our fathers and our mothers, Adonai will remember and keep the promises to us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot, v'Imaot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lahoshia Mechaker Chaim B'Chesed Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umkayem Emunato Lishene Afar Micha Mocha Bal Givuro Umido Melach Melech Memid Umkayem Umatzmiach Yeshua V'nemanata Lahayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol. Adonai, you are our strength. You are our superpower. We need no other power other than you. Before we begin with the Torah portion for the week, let's take a look at, we are into the 18th day of the counting of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sifarat haomer. Blessed are you, eternal God, Lord of the universe, who has sanctified us with commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom shmona asar yom shachem shnei shavuot ve'arba'ah Yamim la Omer. Today is 18 days, which is 2 weeks and 4 days of the counting of the Omer. Okay, let's open up the chat. Let's see if anybody else. No, I guess we're not getting anybody on Facebook. Must be a beautiful evening and nobody's around. And that happens. We're used to that, people around enjoying the evening, so that's what it is. Okay. God commands the Jewish people to be holy. The Parsha of Kiddushim begins with the statement, "You shall be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy." Let's think about that. You shall be holy. That means each one of us. We are going to be holy. Keep that thought in the back of your head. Mitzvot are listed. Revering your parents, observing the Sabbath, prohibitions against idolatry, the obligation to leave certain part of one's harvest for the poor. Do not lie. Do not cheat. Do not withhold wages to your workers. Do not swear falsely, curse, or mislead others. Do not pervert justice. Do not gossip. Do not be indifferent to a fellow's predicament. Do not hate a fellow Jew. Do not bear grudges or take revenge. Do not reprimand a sinner, and to love every Jew. The Torah prescribes capital punishment for one who worships Molech, a form of idolatry which required human sacrifices. The Torah sets the punishment for individuals who curse their parents and those who engage in prohibited sexual relations. I'm not going to get into every specific one right now. We're just getting a general overview. We are instructed not to follow the customs and traditions of the heathens. This sort of gives us a window into what life was like at those times. In particular, we were being guided away from the rituals and the beliefs of the Egyptians, those that we left, and the Canaanites, those who we were going to. So we're sort of being warned, don't do it. And to be meticulous about eating only kosher foods. The Torah portion ends on the same note as it started, that we be holy. So I told you to think about that. What does that mean to you? You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. What does that mean to you? 5 people here. Give me an answer.
Well, I think part of it
Ellen,
is.
we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay. I think the list that Hashem gives is to say, well, that is showing that you are accepting what I have said, and these will show that you are agreeing and practicing what I think or what I'm telling you means to be holy.
So do we still follow that directly?
I think we've made interpretations on everything.
Because somebody, I'm getting kickback, I think, from yours, Ellen. There is a section called Shenitz, where you're not supposed to mix cotton and linen. Anybody here observe those rules? Okay, Ziona does. Anybody else observe it? Then the rest of us don't. Does that make us less holy? Torah?
I guess it depends whom you speak to.
Well, I'm asking you.
I think at certain times what was interpreted, and you made the point is that you don't follow what a lot of some of the things he said that are said in the Torah. It is because he's not really the way I interpret it. Is Hashem did not say that it was wrong. He just says, do not follow what these other cultures have done. He didn't say it was wrong and per se. He was just saying, I want you to do things differently because this is what I think. This will be what you will do to be holy and to follow what I think, what I am saying, or that the spark in you that's coming from me. And I think the interpretations of lots of things. It was good at that time, but not necessarily. It was interpreted differently in different times.
2,000 years of interpretation, but I like that line, the spark. Can you say that again?
You have a spark. Hashem said you have a spark of me in you, and this is the way you can show it. This is the way you can show me or yourself or both that this you're following, and therefore you're accepting the spark.
You're getting many thumbs up for this.
Thank you.
Anyone else? An idea of how we can be holy?
I think it goes back to what Hillel said, do not do anything abhorrent to others that you wouldn't have done to you. I mean, yes, the rule about mixing linen and wool is there, but I think most importantly is we're an example and a light to the other nations, and we have to treat everyone well, treat everyone as if how we would want to be treated. I think that's very, very important. I think that's the most important thing. And I think I know that I'm a minority in this, but I think that from all of it, we can gather that there is that Hashem wants us as a Jewish people to survive, and that we should guard against assimilation and behaving, adopting customs from the people that we're around, the non-Jews that we're around. I think that's, that's important.
Okay, thank you. Well,
I
I'm sort of going to play a devil's advocate because 32 years as a teacher, this is what I did with the kids. I always played devil's advocate. So if they believed one thing, I just made them think about something else. The Torah says that it gives us a strict code on how to treat our slaves. So how do we interpret that today?
we can generalize that that's how we should treat others, but the fact that we now understand that it's wrong to have slaves, we don't have to have slaves. We
But is
shouldn't
that
have
but
slaves.
is that taking then the route of following other nations?
Well, I think that was part of it at that time, that some things could not be changed immediately. There, and so certain things could not be, it was just too much at one time. So certain things could not be changed at that point. So certain things I should have said, all right, I'll have to work on that later. They'll have to work on it later. But right now, these are very important to make the distinction between you're leaving Egypt and getting to Canaan and whom you meet along the way.
I may also, if I might add, and I love it, is it gave us a moral compass. In whatever we had, I mean, there were rules. Men could have up to 4 wives, and there were rules on how to treat the wives. We've had to make changes. We've had to adapt. But it still gave us a moral compass, as you said, what Hillel said. So
Yeah.
we've had a compass, no matter what is the rule of the day. We still have a moral compass to live by. Most of us don't leave the edges of our fields unharvested for the widow and the orphan to glean. But we certainly give to charity.
Most of us don't have fields.
Most of us don't have fields, but we certainly do give. It represents our compass as to what, and following our compass makes us holy.
We should also be an example to the rest of the world, to the other nations.
Absolutely. Because we have that
I mean,
moral
the
compass.
Jews, I see the concept of the chosen people as the Jews were chosen to teach morality to the rest of the world.
Okay.
In other words, it's not God's going to do anything for us, but we're chosen to show the rest of the world how to live what I guess you would call decently or morally or whatever you want to call it.
Although that can be considered very controversial, because a lot of people say, well, they think us, we're better. We're above them, we're chosen. But
no, we have it. It's not we're better. We're given a big responsibility.
Okay.
I mean, if we don't behave ourselves, it's a double whammy.
It's like when I started to wear a yarmulke outside the house, I could be anywhere and I have to think twice, 3 times before I open my mouth, because it's who I'm representing. It's what I'm right.
Can I tell a quick story?
Go ahead.
So this person who used to be in the same congregation as I was, which is no longer in existence, unfortunately. So we had Purim, and he had a priest costume that he would wear every year on Purim. And one time he was driving somewhere wearing the priest costume, and somebody cut him off in traffic, and he gave a gesture. And then he remembered he was wearing the priest costume, and he's like, oh no, what do they think of me?
Exactly.
The same thing, although he wasn't wearing a kippah, but it was the same. He was representing a religion just as a costume. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that. That's very funny.
No, I don't understand why it was still light and they could see his priest costume, because Purim is in the winter, but maybe he went and ran some errands before he went to the service or something. I don't remember.
Very funny.
Well, you know, I always wear my Be Kind shirt. I've worn out 4 of these shirts. I mean, this one's kind of worn, but it always reminds me to behave myself. It's sometimes when people see it, they, you know, if I can tell they're a little agitated, they might slow down a little bit, but it's more for me. Because I do have a bit of a temper sometimes.
And that gives you your own moral compass and spark of holiness. We had a theme about God's image with the students. And part of the presentation was people who are imperfect. I mean, most of us aren't, but I'm talking just in they're handicapped in some way or another. Doesn't take away from their heart. And their spark of holiness is just as bright as for the rest of us. And, you know, at this point, I'm working at 12-year-olds. So, you know, they needed to understand that that spark, that holiness encompasses all. And we need to compass it all. If Adonai made us all in that image, then we all have to encompass. How could something be less than perfect? All right, let's get back to our share screen, PowerPoint. And now let's take a few moments to listen to the prayers in our hearts and our minds. Oh, say shalom bimruma. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. V'imru. Imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimruma. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. V'imru, amen. And let me say good evening to Sharon Jaffe, and I'm glad that you could join us. And now our prayer for healing. So please type in names of those who need our healing thoughts and prayer. And I'm going to start with Sid and Joyce Becker, Katie and Luna Marcello, Lauren Wall, Elaine Levin, Barry Lemove, and Ellie. Okay, we've got all those who are suffering physically and emotionally: Dorothy, Mark, Marlene, Jimmy, Jean, and Robin. We have Georgette and Fred Meyerowitz. All who are homeless, humans and animals: Perry Bud Ethel, all those with COVID, survivors of violence, and those caught up in war. Okay, let's go back. Mishebeirachavotenu Nehol habraha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Perry, Ben, Betty, Marlene Bat Chaya, Ginny Bat Juana, Sarah Bat Colleen. Mishebeirachimotenu Nehol habraha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Perry Bot, Betty, Marlene Bot, Ziona, Rabbi Galit, Tamar, Beth, and Amy. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, tate gedula lioter bereshit, shalo asanu kiko yeharatzot, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המנם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמן והיה אדוני למלך הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We recall the loved ones whom death recently has taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we praise Adonai and pray for the coming of Adonai's kingdom. And please, let's keep close to our hearts those who have died in recent days and those who have passed in days gone by. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad divrei chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalav azman kariv yimru amen. Yehesh me rabbah mevorach le'olam al mea maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiroman v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal. Shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'elam mechor b'chata v'shirata, tushb'chata v'nechamata. Damiram v'yalma v'yimu amen. Yesh lama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimu amen. Oseh shalom b'mumav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimu amen. And may all those who are in mourning be comforted by the one who comforts all. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being here tonight. And all, I'm sorry, Sharon, I didn't see it. Jim, Carrie, Eric, Gabe, Shirley, Naomi, and Beverly. Sharon gave us a list of all people who needed healing. And so here we are at the end of our Maariv service. We're here Monday through Friday. Rabbi Nancy, Rabbi Deborah, Rabbi Galit, myself, Rabbi Steve. Be well all. Can't wait to see you next week. Be safe.
Darabah, Rabbi. Shavua tov.
Shavua tov to all. And again, enjoy. Take care. Bye.
Darabah.